An important decision that people have to make early on in their careers and their financial life is when to buy their first house or how long to continue renting. What are some things that you should know before you make that kind of a life-changing decision? Well, obviously, if you rent, you're not going to build any savings or any equity. So is owning a house always better? Well, it's not better to own a house if, you buy the house, you have closing costs, you have PMI, you're paying a lot of interest. So where the house can be a bad deal is if you buy at a time when the housing market is relatively high and then the value of your house actually falls, you can end up underwater. And even if the value of the house is similar, it's not really that much different. If you were to buy a house and then turn around and sell it in the first 2 to 3 years, you would oftentimes lose a little bit on the transaction just because of all the costs of paying a realtor and paying loan fees and other closing costs like legal. So you definitely don't want to buy a house if you're not planning to be there for several years. So plan to be there at least 5 years or so. Usually it's just you lose if you're there for the first 2 or 3 years. Now, on the flip side, you can get lucky when buying a house, or you can be at a good point in the economic cycle. So if you happen to buy a house when housing values are low and then prices rise in your area, then you could own a house for even just a short period of time and you can have your house be worth way, way more than when you purchased it. Here in Huntsville locally, there's a housing shortage and housing prices have risen dramatically over the past few years. So there's supply and demand and the economic growth of the area, which tends to drive housing prices. But there's also interest rates. So for instance, when interest rates were really low, from like maybe 2015 to 2020, interest rates were really low. And because mortgage payments were so low because of interest rates being so low, housing prices were quite high. When interest rates rose in all the inflation going on with COVID, and in recent years, interest rates have been higher, and that has actually caused housing prices to fall a little bit, even in a really growing economic area such as Huntsville. So, we can kind of know a little bit about whether interest rates are high or low, and that gives us a clue about whether housing prices might go up or down in the future. It's kind of a catch-22, because if you buy a house when interest rates are high, your mortgage payment will be really high, but the chances that your house value will go down are a little bit lower. But if you buy when interest rates are really low, your mortgage payment will be really low, but the chances that your house might lose value are a little bit higher. So these are things that you probably should think about before you buy a house. And the biggest thing is, if you're willing to stay there for several years, your chances of it being a good investment are pretty good.